Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm not sure, but I like to think that this is the first time that we actually get to talk about HR or recruitment-related topic at BTC Prague. So our goal today is to give you an insight into the Bitcoin job market, the hiring landscape, and if you haven't joined the Bitcoin industry yet professionally, maybe to give you a little motivation to make the decision and make the big step. So we have four interesting guests here today. We have Láďa, we have Marek, we have Peter, and we have Selene. And I have a quick opening question for each of you, starting with the lady. How did you get into Bitcoin professionally, and how did your current role emerge from that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Selene Jin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Cosma AI. So my Bitcoin journey actually started back in 2017, where I just got bored in working in Fortune 500 companies, and I was looking at emerging and exciting new fields to kind of start a new venture. And back then, I looked at a few different fields, and Bitcoin happened to be sitting at the sweet spot between like technical maturity and design maturity. So like the technology is ready enough for product person and a design person to come in to like make adoption, and the market shows clear demand. So as a person with a product and design background, that's like the place to make impact. So I joined Blockstream as the director of user experience, and yeah, there was never a dull day since then. So currently, I'm building an AI startup, try to find the convergence between AI and Bitcoin for creators. So yeah, I'm just repeating the playbook myself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Peter, how did you get into the Bitcoin business?
Yes, thank you, Adam. So I discovered Bitcoin 4 years ago. Yes, and there was nobody who can explain me how to safely buy, how to store Bitcoin, and I didn't know anything. So after a year or so, thanks God, I realized that there is no second best. Bitcoin is the king, and I have participated and started a community project. 21, which is 21 fork, and for now I'm still not fully working in Bitcoin. I'm a volunteer. I contribute to different projects like BTC Map, Blink Wallet, and so. But I'm still searching for Bitcoin job.
You're in the right spot. I'm actually a recruiter as well, so let's talk after. Marek, how did you get into it?
So my journey started for 3.5 years. So I was just looking for some possibility to invest. So as a part of my retirement plan. So this was this point. But I also left. I worked at the bank for over 8 years, and I ended this path. I think I was in a point in my life where I was open to new solutions, and I found Bitcoin. And how I started to work there since 1 year, and actually I found the job here, so I connect with Anya, with the founder in here, so I can only encourage you to network here. It's possibility to also find a job here at the venue, so this is great. Use it.
Beautiful. And Láďa, how about you? It's been a recent experience?
Quite a recent, yeah. I was thinking, and I think I met Stick and Slash, the founders of Satoshi Labs, like 9 months ago or something like that, 9-10 months ago. And it's been only half a year for me working for Satoshi Labs. But I've been a hodler for quite a few years already. But I never imagined working for a company that does this complicated stuff as I viewed it back there. But after the 6 months with the company, you know, I used to work for large e-commerce business, like billions of Czech crowns, VC founded, lots of boards and McKinsey consultants and stuff like that. And here, vision is not just a slide in a deck. It's being lived every day. And it has changed my life. Like literally, and it's not a hyperbole. Like since I joined Satoshi Labs, I can see that you can work on something you actually believe in. You can live your values every day in the workplace, and it is possible. And I just love that.
I'll clap to that as well. I mean, at the end of the day, that is the greatest motivator, right? To spend your time working, and we spend a lot of time working in something that you actually enjoy and that makes you feel like there is a higher purpose, perhaps. Ladja, you have joined the industry quite recently. What surprised you the most, positively, negatively?
Like I said, I run a company of a similar size as Satoshi Labs, so I do understand how difficult it is to run a company of 250, 60 people. What I'm surprised the most is there's no value of like fake hustle and no value of making decks just for the sake of making presentations. Nobody cares of it. What people care of is a real contribution. And that's very different to all the companies I used to work for. And the flip side, I think, we are thinking so much about making the best product we can. I love that, but we sometimes forget about business. And me being from e-commerce, where you really focus on making money, gross profit tomorrow, like you every day you count the numbers, every day you count the ROI. I don't really see that here. Like, I kind of like it, but I think, yeah, that's the flip side from my point of view.
All right. Loving new people joining, and I was just noticing the applicants are just getting younger and younger these days, or is it just me getting older and older? 10 years old.
The next generation.
Beautiful, beautiful. We might have something for you. So I presume we do have people in the audience who do not yet work in the Bitcoin industry, and they are, I guess, at this point, actively thinking about it. So let's focus on their point of view now. Point of transition, second of a subtopic for me. At what point do people start thinking about leaving the fiat world and actually going into the Bitcoin world? Marek?
Yeah, it's a great question, I think. It's not so easy to understand it, so I perhaps try once people understand what time and energy is. So I have this point. Once you understand how much time you invest in your daily fiat working hours, and that you're rewarded with a dollar that's devaluating all the time and what's going on. So I see this transition point, then once people understand, they try thinking about to join, but always there needs to be some passion, but also they need to dive more in this topic. Okay, my life is time and energy, and once you get it, and the next step is that you understand that this is money, in fact, what is it, and then they starting to think about it.
Okay. Peter, would you like to add something to that, or anybody else? Do you have anything, maybe, like what was for you the transition point, or do you have experience with people who at this point are thinking about it, and you can sense that like this is the one thing that motivates them to make the switch?
Yes, I know a few people who left their fiat jobs and started work for Bitcoin in Bitcoin companies. For example, Mario, who is a cameraman, he is second year working for BTC Prague. I don't know what the name of his position is. Some AV master or something. I don't know. But he left his fiat job and started started in Bitcoin. Or there are a lot of examples of Paulenex from BTC Pay. He's not tech guy. He's not developer. And he works fully for BTC Pay.
Yeah, I do interviews for some time, quite a lot of people that I've met so far. And if I had a penny every time someone tells me that they just want to leave their corporate job and work in Bitcoin and give something to the community through something they can do, their developers, product managers, marketing people, I'd have quite a few pennies at this point. People who are not familiar with the industry that much yet, they can often, think maybe it's not for me. There are difficulties. They might have prejudices. There are myths around our industry. What are they? And are they actually true? Or maybe we're going to debunk some of them here on stage today. Who'd like to pick up that topic about the myths in crypto? I'll throw one. Is Bitcoin too technical for people who are thinking about joining the industry?
Perhaps I can pick up it. So one misunderstanding that's still there is people think that you need to be a developer to work in the Bitcoin space. And this is not really true. So one of the businesses we're doing was always Skyping Bitcoin companies, and we're putting these job offers on Telegram. And we did some data survey last year, and we saw that 69% of the jobs listing were non-dev. So we're also concentrating on this non-dev part because we think a good developer will always find a good job. So we're concentrating on, but you don't need to be a developer to start working there. So this is one misunderstanding, and once you understand it, you can have a look for normal job as product manager and so on. But you need to understand how the market is. The Bitcoin market is still a lot of startups. When they just developing with 2-3 people, they developing a product, starting it, and after that's successful, they're starting to develop some departments and so on. So this is something you need to be aware of once you're looking, but I think we'll still have this question a little bit later.
Okay. Anyone would like to add something to that?
Yeah, actually, I can speak about that because I'm like a designer by trade, and I wasn't technical background. So I would say, first of all, if you want to work on some hardcore Bitcoin company that's building the tech, then there is a challenge because in order to design good product and UX, you need to understand the tech limitations and possibilities first. But the bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. If you really want to take it, it's a fun ride. But there's also a lot of company now that's just adopting Bitcoin as a strategy or try to build onto Bitcoin, and there's a lot of opportunity that's less technical. So I would say it's always a perfect time for creators and designers to join the Bitcoin scene.
From my experience, obviously when we're hiring and the candidate already knows Bitcoin, it is very helpful. But we are looking for experts in the given field, for skilled developers, for skilled designers, whoever. And we have the Bitcoin knowledge in the company. So we can teach you that if you get to bring a different skill to us. So I think it's a win-win at the end of the day. All right, another myth, or maybe it's not a myth, market volatility in Bitcoin, bear markets, bull runs, or maybe not anymore. Maybe the cycle is not cycling anymore. Maybe things are changing. So how can someone who's about to step into the industry, and you guys have been in this industry for a while, some of you experienced multiple bear markets and bull runs, how can one prepare themselves for the instability? Potential instability?
Well, I will give advice. You need to get in this market and know how is the structure. How I said it before, it's a lot of startups. So example, once you are a family guy with 2 children, you don't really have this confirmation that this startup will survive once the bear market. So this is something you need to know. You need to know the products and the business case they're doing. Can this survive the drawdown of 2-3 years or not? So this is really something you need to consider once you're looking. And we also have in our job feed, we have also some exchanges and bigger companies. So I think Satoshi Labs is also, I will call a bigger company, Bitcoin and crypto company. So once you have a bigger company, the possibility to survive the market will be bigger. So this is for sure one case. When you compare it to a startup, when from 10 startup after 3 years, only one survive and 9 not. So this is something you need to be aware of. So I will give advice, try to go to the company which is already a little bit bigger, developed, so the possibility to survive the bear market will be bigger.
Maybe a piece of advice from me, if there is a new project that seems maybe too good to be true, be extra cautious, because we know our industry, we know it can be challenging, there's always new stuff coming up, there can be scams, so it's always good to be a little extra cautious when entering the Bitcoin industry. All right, let's move on to another segment. I call it hiring landscape today. We have covered, the first part. We have crowd of people who are motivated to step into the Bitcoin industry. So now let's talk about how that can be actually achieved. Let's say we have interested people who want to work in Bitcoin. Where can they find job listings? Marek, I think you're the designated expert in this area.
Yeah, I'm doing the main part. That's fine. It's fine. Why not? So one possibility is, so I'll start with perhaps the well-known platform. You for sure know Bitcoiner Jobs platform. So Bitcoiner Jobs is quite well known since I think 2-3 years. So there's one possibility from our part, from BitVocation. So we're scraping the job market since 2 years. So you can check for Telegram BitVocation bot. So we're posting the jobs and comparing to last year, we posted the 1,700 unique job offers from the space. Half of them are already Bitcoin only, but there are also Bitcoin and crypto related, and we still have some exchanges. As I said before, not everyone is ready to work in a small environment, and there's also some other family person, and they want to start to have a safe environment and to know I will have this job in next year and so on. So this is so I will encourage you to type in Telegram, look for BitVocation bot. We also have Nostr, so we're posting jobs there every day. So they're popping 2-3 new jobs there. So we find the easiest way to stay updated with the market.
Beautiful, beautiful. Peter, you are very active in the community. Are there potential ways how to get involved in the community, perhaps even today, and make the next step into Bitcoin career?
Yes, exactly. You can start building a community in your town or in your village. You can try organize meetups, maybe later some conferences, but first do something. You can go to internet and contribute to different open source systems. You can volunteer at actions like this one. There is a lot of opportunities. So when you will be active, the people will recognize you, and they will know you. Oh, I saw you there. I saw you there, and don't wait. Just don't wait. Do something, and opportunities will come.
Even for forest animals, I would say. What does the Bitcoin job market actually look like today? Like, what jobs would you say are currently in demand? And potentially, do you see any gaps in the market that this is what companies want, but the applicants or the talents are not there yet? You can consider this sort of like an advice to the people who want to really make your name in Bitcoin industry. This is maybe the career path you could take, something you could focus on. Marek or Selene? Selene, you seem.
So perhaps I cannot answer it so good. I can only see based on data what we see from this non-dev. So I think the one part dev. I think the most searched position was software engineer in last year. So senior and normal mid-level. And from the non-dev jobs, there were product manager. But once the company is evolving, so they also try to hire this normal department and make normal department hire community manager, social media. I think community, social media is quite important. Once you're good at in the fiat world, you can really try to get a foot there in the Bitcoin space, because community is really important in the Bitcoin space. And also social media, when I think about the memes, how you transfer topics and so on through memes, it's really quite important also. So it's spread, I cannot get one advice. You need to have a look what you can, do some proof of work from your fiat world, but also dive in the space and try to get some knowledge and experience. So it's really important. So the most companies we see, they want to hire somebody that already some kind work in the space. So it's not really new for him. So this is, I can only encourage you to find some companies you like, projects, dive in the better products, try to contribute and see that you're interesting. Once they will have some job offers, you won't be a stranger, they will know you, and it will be more easily really to get foot in it.
Yeah, so I would say some specific personalities are well suited to work in Bitcoin. For example, people who like to find order in chaos, because there's going to be a lot of ambiguity. There's a lot of fast iterations, in this kind of emerging tech field. So if you are really passionate about building new things and you want to own your work, I would say Bitcoin is a good place to work. Yeah.
Perfect.
I can absolutely second that. When I first heard about Satoshi from Satoshi Labs from founders, my impression was that it's a company for grown-ups, and I think that's one trait you need to have because of the volatility, because of you're going to work with really smart people, top of the game smart people. But if you go to satoshilabs.com and see the open job offers, it's mostly developers. Just let's not kid ourselves. The value is created when we develop things. What I hear from our recruiters is that we have difficulties finding hardware engineers, because there are 4 companies under Satoshi Labs, and Trezor is probably not in your pockets, but probably all of you are customers of Trezor, most likely. So we are making hardware, and it's difficult for us to find developers. When we open, let's say, less technical position, there's a fierce competition among the candidates. So be sure you know about your strengths. That's really basic stuff. Know about what you do well. Know what you have to delegate. Know that you won't make the decks, but you have to contribute. And that's basically it. Look, I'm a theologist. I'm not a developer, and I can still do that and contribute.
I liked how you said that you felt that Satoshi Labs is a company for grown-ups.
Yeah, then I met you. No. You're getting there.
Thank you. What you said about hardware, there's a saying, hardware is hard. And I would say, and I can see our recruiter from the team, recruiting in hardware is also hard. All right. Bitcoin is a dynamic, quickly evolving industry. But did the environment in terms of like companies that are on the market, companies that are hiring, change in the recent times? We know that Bitcoin is now being more and more adopted by institutions, governments. Is that perhaps somehow changing the whole job market? What companies are now there hiring? Is it still smaller startups, or, as Ladia said, are the companies actually maturing? Marek?
So I was said that based on our data, we see that there's more Bitcoin-only companies that are evolving since 2-3 years. So that's still small. Some of them are transitioning to some mid one. So mid one, I would say 20 plus persons is a middle, and till 20% is this small one. So we see that a lot of Bitcoin-only businesses, products, services are going in the market, and for sure, when we see only the treasury or the existing finance environment, we see how many topics could emerge in the next years. So only to give an example, lending. So once that you use your Bitcoin as a collateral, it will be a huge market in the next 5 years, I think. So it's a lot of things going on, and there will be some also position for traditional finance persons. There are already some of them who are Bitcoiner, but they stay in the fiat world, and they can pick up this possibility and try to develop this finance products. And also at the banks, perhaps in Europe it's getting slowly, but as comparison to America and so other countries, but it will happen for sure, and we see it. So it won't be only crypto companies as for 5 years. There will be some more coming on. So I think the opportunities will grow, and also you can plug in from the fiat world and start there in the companies. And I know that a lot of Bitcoiners are still in a fiat corporate world, and perhaps they just waiting that the company will make the next step, and some of them will do or already start doing it.
I think it might be just a matter of time when big corporations, big banks actually start hiring Bitcoin analysts, because it is the future. And maybe we're not so far from actually governments hiring people. I've heard that the Czech Ministry of Justice is looking for people who actually understand Bitcoin. So if anyone would like to help them out with stuff, just give them a call. Selene, you are now in the startup world. So tell us a little bit more about the startup environment. Maybe your own experience, because you used to be at Blockstream, right? Thank you. And then you went and founded your own startup. So how was that experience? And is that something you could recommend to people? I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's because I'm just like something very exciting and early. So back then my experience in Bitcoin is very similar than my experience in AI right now. And I feel like it's very important that people find the problem first, not the technology first. Especially actually in Bitcoin, because in between I was working the design in blockchain, and then I started this AI company. I had my design firm that work with a lot of Bitcoin native startups, and I found often people coming to me and said, we want to do something for Bitcoin, but it's like. I understand, because a lot of people in the industry have technical background, and it's very easy to get fascinated by the tech itself or get very married to your idea and try to justify why it is right for Bitcoin. But I will say, if you want to do a startup or any new initiative, it's always most critical to think about why it won't work, like the 100 reasons it will fail. So I would say that's the most important part.
Perfect. One more topic that I would like to touch. local versus remote work or remote hiring. The guys here, we are Central Europeans, but Selene, you flew from very far, from Vancouver yesterday. So are you used to working remotely, and do you think that Bitcoin industry is maybe even built for remote work because Bitcoin is borderless?
Yeah, speaking from my personal experience, I'm quite an introvert person. Actually, I always prefer to have my own space while working. That's better focus. So I would say, I really enjoyed working in Bitcoin because I would say it's the industry where it's the most opportunities for like remote work. And at the same time, during my years in Bitcoin, I had the fortunate enough to be able to travel almost half of the globe because I'm able to work in anywhere. And I think the perspective that you gain from living in different places and seeing different culture and experience different aspects of life is gold. Like nothing else compared to that. So I would say like remote is very good for Bitcoin.
And from your experience, what are the popular hubs for Bitcoin industry at the moment? The new Silicon Valleys of Bitcoin.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of early when I did that, so there wasn't a lot of Bitcoin hub. But now there are definitely a lot more. For example, recently I've been to the Tokyo Bitcoin hub opening, and I feel like Tokyo is a perfect place for that. And I really enjoyed working there. And Japan is just a great place to be and meet the new people there.
Perfect, perfect. On the topic of remote and local working, Ladja, in our company, we have people who come to the office on almost daily basis, but we also people who work remotely. How do you view that? Are you used to work in the office, or what do you think about that?
I'm this old school manager who thinks, and I will defend this position, that when you lead people, you should meet people. And I'm in the office almost every day when I don't have meetings in the city, because our Silicon Valley, called Kundratka, is in Libeň, and it's kind of remote location. So I understand that people don't go there every day. They don't have to, but I prefer to do it because I work with people, so I need to see the people. And it's just, no matter how good it went, all the hangouts and stuff, it's still better to meet in person. But saying that, we recently counted in 260 people in Satoshi Labs, we have 30-something nationalities. So obviously it's really widespread around the world, and it's amazing. And maybe the fundamental part of working on site or off site is that when you give the freedom, we do expect the responsibility from the people. And that's the part of the grown-up topic. You can work from anywhere. You don't have to come to Kundratka every day, but you should. But if you don't, you just contribute, and that's part of the job. The responsibility is part of the job.
Yeah. Few more minutes. So closing statements. I'd like to ask you all to give an advice to people in the audience if they are not yet in the Bitcoin industry and they want to make the leap. One thing that you would recommend, on what would you suggest to these people? We can start from Selene.
Maybe start to take part of your salary in Bitcoin and see. I think when you're in it, it always feels different. So, take a small steps in first.
Beautiful. Peter?
I think go and do something. Don't wait. Don't ask, what can Bitcoin do for me? Ask what I can do for Bitcoin. That's all.
Marek?
So I always say a network, and not only network like crazy. Don't sit at home. Try to reach out to the people locally. There's meetups, there's conferences, events, and use this event. You can do so many things here. So network like crazy.
Láďa?
I'm sorry upfront. I tend to give people existential crisis. And with this advice, it's probably going to have the same effect. I mean, follow your fears. Use it as your compass. For me, running a marathon in under 3 hours, it's relatively easy. Going to dance class with my wife, oh my God, I can feel my heart pumping. And it's the same thing in the work environment. Like, do what you are afraid of. You don't have to be at a C-level team to change the company. You can do it from this very chair if you start tomorrow. Just do it.
Nice. And advice from me, enjoy the conference, go to as many presentations, as many discussions as possible, network, as Marek said, and above all, visit the Satoshi Labs booth. We can talk about jobs there. Thank you everybody for joining our talk. Thank you guests for sharing your insights and knowledge, and we'll see you around. Thank you very much.
Secure your BTC Prague 2026 ticket at the lowest possible price now.